IVM.
Hello.
Hi, Tash.
Hi,
Good
Ayushi.
evening.
Good evening. Bonsoir. How are you today?
I guess good day to everyone else who might not be listening in the
Yes.
evening. So whenever you are listening, wherever you are, good day to you.
Yes, but just know that Ayushi and I are recording this at night time. It's the end of a long day. We have just finished dinner and the dishes, and we are chatting now.
We.
We. Yes, it's episode 43 of Agla Station Adulthood. It's a pretty special one, of course, because what's our topic today,
It's
Ayushi?
about. I can't believe that just before the most French word in the entire description,
Exactly.
you got the
See?
French accent out.
I am full of surprises, but I will come back, because I chose the French accent because we are going to be speaking about love today.
Yes, LOVE, the big four-letter word, our second favorite four-letter word in the English dictionary.
The first favorite
first
being cake. We would just like to clarify it is cake. Cake is the best four-letter word.
Oh, I love me some cake, man.
Yes.
Cake is great.
Yes.
Anyway, so as you guys know, we took a break last week.
Yeah.
To update you, it was because we had just a lot going on our plates in terms of work and life events and just basically adulting. There
It was
a lot
a
of adulting
major
going on.
adulthood week and 15 days.
Yes.
Yeah. So since the last time we recorded, and then you guys listened to the Rage of Innocence episode, I suppose. And then we had another week
And
of
then we had
break.
this.
Yeah. And now we're back.
So we're going to try to not take any more breaks because we also miss speaking to each other, and we miss this entire format and concept, of course. But unfortunately, our hands/mouths were a bit tied up. But we're back now. And so while we were trying to figure out what our next episode should be, obviously Tash dropped one bomb on me. She was like, what about love?
L-bomb.
And I was like, what do you mean love? But as per usual, as I started thinking about it more and I got into it and I started scrounging around for things that we could put into the episode, I realized, not bad. I like this. I think we can work with it. I think we can find something that relates to both of us.
Mm.
And so I think we have a really fun episode for you guys today. I'm excited about this. I am excited.
Same. Because I'm like, till when can we avoid a topic like love, I think we're now
because
adulthood
we haven't
stage
done
now. Yeah.
And if I'm being honest with you, Tash, we haven't done an episode entirely just dedicated to love. Like we've done dating, we've done relationships, and we've done like family perhaps, but we haven't had anything that's just been dedicated to that this specific emotion or feeling.
Yes, which is too big for me and I find it too important. So I'm so glad we have now arrived at this stop.
Yes. So this is station 43,
Mm-hmm.
love. And okay, so obviously to give you a little signposting, because this is a pretty exciting episode, I'm going to obviously get into some science, some sort of fact, some sort of mental, some brain science when it comes to love. And then we're going to go into the crowdsourced part of this episode. So if you follow us on Instagram, you would have known that we, over the last 2 days, we asked everyone to let us know what love means to them. And we got in a whole bunch of responses, and then we put some of those together and we created some sort of conversation. And then we're going to end the episode by telling you what Tash and I think love is for us. Tanji?
Love is love.
Okay, great. We should not do these late night sessions, I feel.
I would also just like to confess to our dear listeners that
yeah, I think you should.
I might have had half a beverage which contained some amount of alcohol in it with my dinner. And it's been a while since I've had that alcoholic bev. So, you know me, this could be an after hours love. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to kick us off with a quote from George Burns. And he says, and this is where he's talking about love. And he says, it doesn't show up on x-rays, but you know it's there.
That's
and I liked
lovely.
it because
I
it
love
kind
that.
of, yeah, it kind of explains the intangible yet tangible quality of the word love, right? You can't really
Oh,
pinpoint it, but
feeling all
it
warm and
surrounds you.
fuzzy inside.
Oh, great,
So
great.
sweet, yeah. It doesn't come up on an X-ray, but it's there. That's just too good, Ayushi. I think it's a great way to kick us off because it really does give that sense of that, what you were saying.
Right. And now to give you some little bit of the science behind love. You know how a lot of people say love is it's just a cocktail of a couple of,
Uh, Neurotransmitters
hormones
going
and
ham.
enzymes.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's important to know which ones are the ones at play, right?
yeah.
Because we just hear that it's nothing but it's just your brain juices all getting muddled up. However, so the associate professor of psychiatry, Richard Schwartz, and his wife, Jacqueline Owles, they both practice at Harvard Med School, and they also work with the Massachusetts General Institution. So they're like काफी smart people, is what I'm trying to say.
I got it, Aishi.
Um,
आपके description से समझ गए हम.
Correct. So he says that love doesn't actually make you sick. You know, when you think of like love sick,
Being
it doesn't
lovesick,
make you
yeah.
sick, but it does raise the levels of cortisol,
Yes,
which is actually a stress hormone.
fair. Makes sense.
And any rise in stress hormone directly can suppress your immune function. So if you are putting these two together, you could say that love kind of does make you a little bit sick.
Nice. That's
But
interesting.
while it raises levels of cortisol, it also turns on your dopamine production,
Which we
which
love.
is
Yeah.
yes, that stimulates your pleasure center.
Yeah, we're into that.
Yes. And this is the other thing, which is it also causes a drop in serotonin.
Oh, but isn't
And
that bad?
serotonin, yes, because that's the thing that makes you kind of crazy and a little obsessive and a little neurotic, or that
The drop
crazy
in
part.
serotonin.
Yes, the drop in serotonin does this.
Oh, and
So, so if you think about it, this rise in cortisol, rise in dopamine, and the drop in serotonin all sort of together creates that crazy, pleasing, stupefied, urgent love of infatuation that happens in the beginning.
interesting. This is why you should exercise then, so the serotonin will come back up.
Right. So the entire theory that both of them they talk about in a lot of study, because actually love is something that a lot of psychologists
Dude,
and
it's
psychotherapists and psychiatry
big
departments
topic.
study.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a huge study in the field of psychology, definitely.
Yeah.
And so something that like Professor Schwartz says is that love, like the moon, has phases. And the first year, he calls it, or like the first phase, is that once the serotonin returns to normal, that stupid obsessive part of your brain also starts normalizing.
Yes. That's
So
true.
so you decrease in that obsessive phase, that crazy phase. It starts to balance itself out. And the second phase sort of is where you see an increase in oxytocin, which is associated with, so that's associated with a calmer, more mature form of thinking and form of love.
That's so
And it's
cool.
actually, yes. And what's even more interesting is like this increase in oxytocin is what actually helps you cement bonds and raises your immune function, which is why they have these studies that prove that the health benefits found in married couples. So there, there's a lot of studies that say married couples tend to live longer, they have fewer strokes, fewer heart attacks, they recover better from terminal illnesses like cancer, they tend to be less depressed. Now, I'm not making any commentary on whether this is like necessarily true or false for the people listening. I'm just saying based on certain evaluative studies, they have found that married couples do a little bit better in these regards. So it's this hormone, oxytocin.
We should say happily married.
Yes. Sorry, we should say happily married. You're right. Happily married, or in that whatever partnership that you're in.
Yeah.
If you're happy in your healthy marriage or healthy partnership, this increase in oxytocin is what's helping you create that calm, more strong bond.
Yeah.
And so the two things that him and his wife, because they're both practicing psychiatrists and therapists, something that they've learned from both their individual practices and together in their marriage, which has helped them. They've written like 3-4 books on this, is basically that love kind of oscillates like this, like the tide. He calls it like the tidal wave, right? Of passionate and companionate.
Okay,
so
nice.
Love is like a tidal wave, yeah, and he says it goes between passionate and companionate, and it's that entire motion of closeness and drifting apart, and this is all relating to like the longevity of relationships and longevity of love. And they basically talk about why you need one of the people in the relationship needs to be like the distance alarm, so that you know when you're drifting away too much. Because like, see, I've said all the sciencey part, but after everything normalizes and you've come into your pattern, a lot of people feel like that passion dies out, or it's not exciting anymore, or it's not, those kind of things. So basically, I think through all of this and as reading all his articles, what I kind of found was they do a lot of research on love.
Yeah.
And partnership and marriage. But something that was very evident from reading this, and of course, I only read this guy's stuff because I didn't have that much time to research further. But this love that he was talking about, both of him and his wife that they talk about, is more of this partnership and marriage and like relationship love. Which you and I know that's not the only kind of love that exists.
So there's this book, All About Love by Bell Hooks. And that's like...
Yes, I heard of it.
Yeah, so shout out to Rega, because she really popularized it on her Instagram. So that's how even I was like, okay, maybe I should try reading it. But basically in that, there is a few quotes which suggest that love is an act of will, both an intention and an action. Love is the will to extend one's life, oneself, for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. And I really liked this one.
Okay.
Just the purpose. Because it extends to not just romantic love. I think it can mean in any kind of situation, whether it's friends or a parent-child relationship, or just any other relationship which is loving.
Any other relationship. I think this kind of relates to one of the people that wrote into us when they, when I said that love is a choice.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that relates to what you just said, right? Like, it's about that consent. It's about your development and choosing what's best for you, or choosing what's right for you and what helps you.
And I like the thought that love is an action, that it is a choice, and there is something which is in our control, so to speak, that it's not just something that, love, but like it's an active choice you're making, and how you love and how you create a loving environment and all of that, like different aspects of the love. Anyway, am I rambling?
No, not at all. I think I think this one is an episode where I should say that I think I struggle a little bit to verbalize exactly how I feel about love.
Right.
Or what love means to me. And we can circle back to that at the end when we talk about our personal thing. But I really enjoyed asking this question on our Instagrams.
Yeah.
And, we also send this message to a lot of our own friends, because, we're in a lot of WhatsApp groups and we have a lot of mutual friends, but different groups as well. And we sent this out to a lot of our friends who are in our age group, basically. And we asked them, and a lot of them are engaged or married or dating. So it was interesting to see what my friends who I've known for like 20 plus years now, what they think of love at this age. So we asked them, we asked strangers, we asked you guys. And I first of all, I want to say thanks for writing in and like telling us about it, because it's such an intimate question. And I was afraid that people wouldn't answer, but you guys did. And
you
that's
delivered.
Great. Thank you. Yes. Some people wrote like really long messages as well.
Yeah.
And I was so touched. I've had to stop myself from replying, because I realized if I need to finish the episode before I get into this with each of these people individually.
Yeah, it could turn into very, very long conversations. Because love is such a topic. Yes.
So one I think Tash's favorite line in life /
Oh
I
my
think now
God, stop it.
possibly
Are you
her
gonna
worst
shame
line.
me for my
I am.
oh
I
no,
am.
oh
I am.
no.
So 2-3 people said this on Instagram, and then one of our closest friends also said this to us when we asked them what is love.
I can't.
And she was like, "Pyar, pyar dosti hai." And I was
Arey
like,
yaar, this Kejo has ruined us.
so I do think it's important to talk about also the idea of like the perception of love and how
Absolutely.
that seems to have
Yeah,
skewed our idea of what it is,
yeah,
and how there is one generic cookie cutter view of what love is supposed to be.
yeah,
And I think we've talked about this before, but I think it's just set us up for disappointment,
yeah. Because
you
more
know?
often than not, most people have just been ruined by the media's portrayal of romance and love and loving relationships at large.
Because reality is very different. Reality has
Absolutely.
its own set of challenges and hurdles that aren't like, drawn out nicely in someone's beautiful set home. you
Yeah,
know,
like
I
something
mean,
as simple
our
as like,
house,
yeah, say, then I'll say.
no, I was just going to say, like, our house doesn't look like that Konkana Sen Sharma and Wake Up Sid. That's not, that's not how life is.
Yeah. And like when I was a kid and I used to like maybe see fights at home. And I was like, oh, but in the movies, people don't fight like this and all. Maybe I was just not watching really intense cinema at that age. But still,
No,
um,
but you're right.
you
You're right. Because actually, if you think about it, your parents is your first depiction of what a marriage
absolutely,
and love is.
absolutely, Ayushi. And that's the thing, because then when you see these two role model figures who are like the goals of
Mm.
love, and of course, you see love, but you also see the reality. And now that we're in this grown up phase of life, we're like, yeah, dude, I fully get it. I understand why you all were fighting. But when you're
And
a
I think
kid,
it's
yeah,
no, you're this is I agree with you. And I think when you're a kid, you think that other people's parents mustn't be fighting. It's
yeah, which
only
is
yours that
not
are. And
true because you
why
grow up
why
and
is their
realize.
love so broken? And maybe they don't love each other.
And then everyone
It's
is
so
like, oh
easy.
God, everyone's crazy. Everyone's house, everyone fights all the time. That's part of life.
And it's so simplistic when you're
Yeah,
young, because
yeah,
you think that love is just between this man and this woman.
yeah,
And that's all it's supposed to be, right? And
yeah,
then obviously, as we've grown up, we've realized, first of all, you have to deconstruct the gender of this. You have to deconstruct the fact that they got married in a different time under different
yeah,
circumstances. That and they're human beings.
yeah.
They are human beings, and they're going to fight. And also, the thing is, the minute you start talking to your friends more, you realize, sabke parents crazy hai. Acha, theek
Exactly.
hai,
It's
no
totally
problem, no
normal.
problem.
And like the thing is, when you what you think is like a dysfunctional situation, not at all to make light of actually dysfunctional homes. That's not what I mean. I don't even know if that's politically
Yes,
correct or incorrect to say. But
it's fine.
when you start talking, that's the thing now. When you speak to friends, and that's when you realize this is totally normal. This is honestly how families function. Family means XYZ things, and family is actually the first place where most people, if you are in a positive kind of family, and
Understand? Yeah,
that's where you experience love. That's your primary place
yeah.
of receiving and giving love and understanding. Oh, this is how the love transaction works. They love
You're
me.
so right.
Yeah,
This is what the transaction of love is. Whether it's between your parents, whether it's between your siblings, or whether
yeah,
it's between you and your parents.
yeah,
Like, you understand. And so I think as you grow up, you realize I think we do take some of, some of those lessons that you saw in maybe your parents or your family's
yeah. No, for
interactions with each
sure.
other.
You take it forward
And
into
then
the other. Yeah,
yeah, and I think it's like kind of like a recipe, right? Like you keep picking
yeah,
up these little bit these ingredients into making your cake, since we started with
yeah.
that.
Your love cake.
And right, and so you're looking to add, you're building this cake, and you keep taking stuff as you grow. Like, this is, oh, I need to add a little bit of this, little bit. So I know that from my experience and my interaction with my parents, my idea of love comes from there. Like, the root of my idea of love comes from there.
Yeah,
Whether that's a good place to have planted that seed or not, that's where it is.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't unlearn that right now.
Same.
So maybe we can talk about what people told us that love is, and
Absolutely.
some of the ones that really stuck out for me and for Tash, because we discussed this yesterday.
Yeah.
Somebody said that love is when your problems are their problems.
Yeah.
And Tash, you didn't necessarily agree with this one, right?
Yeah, because I was a bit like, ho, ho, ho. It doesn't mean you have to take on somebody's problems. But then Ayushi explained,
But I think,
saying it's not
yeah, I think what
really that.
I don't think it means that your problems. I think it becomes like if
It,
if the person I love is having a problem, I need to help solve that. Like it's my problem as well because I want to help. I think that's kind of
that's it. And I believe in that also.
yeah,
I was, because I, having been in a actively committed, serious relation,
exactly,
I am now very
absolutely.
clear in my mind because I have been through that whole phase of, oh, okay, every small problem that Rajiv is having, I'm going to have. But now it's like, okay, you know what? Let me just step back. And the last year or so has just been more about, okay, fair enough. You have concerns. I'm here to help you. It's a solution oriented approach as opposed to like just getting caught
Right.
in
So
the
that
emotions of the problem. Yeah.
yeah, and that's where I think that so when you say that your problems are my problems, I like that. I think it's true. It's like it's a team effort. Like
100%. 100%.
let's fix this together.
Nobody can.
Then we got a lot of ones about love is being accepted for who you are.
I think this has been a major theme. Just this, like,
Acceptance.
yeah, unconditional acceptance.
Yes, unconditional. Like a lot of people said that love is about being yourself and being accepted for who you are,
Yeah.
being loved for who you are, not having to pretend, not having to be someone else. So I'm saying we picked up a lot of that as a underlying message of acceptance,
Yeah.
which I think it's true.
Yeah.
It definitely is true, right? Like love is about being 100% who you are and being loved for that and loving someone for who they are.
Yeah.
Um, but something that made me a little bit, I don't know, should I say sad? I don't want to sound like I'm being rude, but I think what it made me think about a little bit was like, I hope that when they write this in, it's coming from a place of having experienced it and not only out of a place of like, oh, I hope that one day I find someone who accepts me for who I am. Like I wanted to reply to all these people being like, I know it comes from that, but maybe the first step is for all of us to learn to accept ourselves
So
first,
honestly, Aishi, you could not have touched a better point
right?
because I was honestly thinking about that only. Because when you talk about acceptance and wanting that love and acceptance and
Yes.
unconditional, like whatever I am, however I am, bhai, we don't know how we are also, na. This is the
Mm.
stage and age of life where you're suddenly discovering newer behaviors in yourself, newer attitudes, newer thought patterns. You are changing between your early 20s and your late 20s. So much is going on that
Yeah.
you are still catching up and learning about yourself. So up until I think you fully don't aren't able to accept yourself for all of these various moods and good and bad and ugly. Like someone had said that that's the idea of love. Like when I'm able to accept myself, good, bad, and ugly, whatever it is, you know? And
Yeah,
that
and like there's a saying, right? Like you can't expect someone to love you until you love yourself.
this is like one of the first things my mom used to keep teaching us when we were kids. No one will love you till you love yourself. But it still took me long to
So
love myself.
no, but I'm saying that you got there eventually. You are at that place, some place that even I don't think that I've completely reached myself. But I know that this is the dialogue or the response that I wanted to have to a lot of the people who wrote in about this acceptance thing
Yeah.
was that while it's totally valid and that is something that we can all work towards and strive for and like long for, like someone who loves you for who you are, I think the first step, and that's me saying as an adult who is trying to do it myself, as like the adulthood takeaway here is that I think first you have to learn how to love yourself
Yeah.
and love who you are in all its entirety before you can really let someone else in to see all of it as well.
Yeah. And also because, friends and family, yes, we do share our secrets and our thoughts and concerns with them. But sometimes I know a lot of people might be battling things by themselves and not even able to like share with their closest friends or family
Right.
members.
Absolutely.
So it takes courage and stuff to get to that place. So in those times, especially, and even in general, it's important to be kinder to yourself and to really value and accept yourself as you are.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people who aren't 100% okay with who they are right now, and they still look for partnership, and or like they judge something in me like, oh, but he doesn't like if he can't handle me and all of this, then I'm not going to be with him, you know. And it's like, but are you able to handle all of you right now? Maybe that's the first step.
Yeah. No.
And this is stuff. And by the way, the last two sentences is things that I've said to myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, are you okay with everything that you are before you're going to run your mouth about
Because
this
it's that whole
person?
thing about now, it's not like two people with half a drink are meeting. It's like I have a whole drink, you have a whole drink, and then we meet. It's not like, oh, you fill my cup with your drink. That's not it.
Yes, and I think that's in adulthood. That's that growth.
Yes.
You know, like
Yes.
it's not about you complete me, I complete you. I think it's more about we're two complete people who would like to spend time together or whatever that is. But yeah, so to everyone saying that love is about accepting yourself and being accepted, you guys are absolutely right.
It is.
But I think the first step is loving yourself.
100%.
Definitely.
Ayushi, should we take a little break on that note?
Sure, we can. We can take a break.
We should. I think we should.
Yeah. I have lots more people to tell you about.
Okay.
So we can take a break. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, welcome to another awesome week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Paytm Money and Intel. Their support makes this content possible. So, been a really exciting week on the network this week. We've had some really cool stuff. My old friend Vivek Lad was on Storytellers and Storysellers. Definitely do check that out. On Cyrus Said, we had Ashwin Sanghi on Thursday's episode, and Cyrus and myself did a cock and bull, just the two of us. That was fun as well on Monday. Do check that out. Masaba was on Advertising is Dead, which was another really, really strong episode from Varun. And on the sports front, both Edges and Sledges, Football Shitball had some really fun episodes. That's the Football Twaddle. Do check those out as well. And if you haven't been paying attention and you haven't been listening to Smile India in these times, I don't know why you aren't. It's the most uplifting show that you could listen to. It's a short, bite-sized piece of really positive things that happen in India. Do definitely check that out. And with that, let's get you back to your show.
Hi.
Oh, we're back? Great.
You clapped. We must be back. Yeah.
I know, but not sitting in front of each other while doing this, sometimes I still trip up a little bit being like, when should I start? Should I start now?
It's very disorienting.
Okay. This one is something that I loved this is from one of my friends. And he wrote a long thing, but the last line in his paragraph was, love is what brings purpose to humanity. And while it might not be the only purpose that we have as humans, I think it's one of our purest pursuits when we pursue love and we pursue like that acceptance. And so I loved it. I absolutely love this thing of it brings purpose, because I think love does.
It does. I agree. I mean, I can't fault it.
Yeah, and I just like that one. I have no comments.
It's beautiful. Love brings.
I like it.
Yes. It is.
Then there's another. Then somebody said, wait. Love is friendship. A lot of people said love is friendship.
Pyar dosti hai, Ayushi, please.
Yeah. 2-3 people even wrote Pyar Dosti hai, and I was like, please direct this to @RYT. Don't bring this to me.
Love? Miss Braganza. Aha. She comes and she asks, oh my God, I can't. Romeo and Juliet. Take a tooth prem kahani. I can't, Ayushi, I can't.
I cannot believe
I'm broken. What is love? Pyar dosti hai. What a beautiful explanation. That's what she says. It's iconic. Shout out to Archana Puran Singh. She's fab in that film.
Hey, you know what? She is the person that we should shout out.
She is. I'm going to give her a shout out. She was fucking amazing.
You're shouting in my ear though.
Love her. Miss Braganza rocks. And Mr. Malhotra was also great. And Johnny Leva was so good. Everyone was amazing.
Farida, hello.
I love her. Okay.
Okay, we're not going down this. Okay, another one that we got in, which was nice, was, again, this was from one of our friends, our mutual friend. She said, love is a place you feel free.
I couldn't agree more. Love is freedom. Freedom is love, and which is why everyone should be free to love who they love.
Aha! I knew you'd find the way to bring it to, because we had to touch upon that, and I wanted to find an organic way amongst all of these to bring that up.
Yeah.
And you did it. We should, and that's something that we both believe in. The show stands for, we stand for. It's like, you love who you love, man. You should
Man, be
feel free.
Yeah, that's मतलब मैं freedom से ज़्यादा किसी चीज़ को endorse नहीं करना चाहूँगी, Like you're the brand ambassador of freedom of love expression. Yes.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Now this is one that you and I we didn't disagree on, but we found funny because somebody wrote to us, "Love is conditional AF." And
I loved that. I loved it because they are also right.
Yes, and this kind of was in juxtaposition to everyone who wrote in, "Love is unconditional love," and I think both of us were like, "No, but I think as you grow up, perhaps there are some conditions that you do put on love."
It's funny. I don't think it happens when you're grown up. Honestly, I think it starts off as conditional and then turns into unconditional. Because kids, for example,
when
will they learn love? When they're in a positive, taken care of environment. No, not when the primary caregiver is not giving the care they require or giving the love. That kid is not going to understand or learn love.
Sahi baat.
So I think it starts off conditional. That's my I'm putting it there. And I never thought of it this way. It was recently a friend of mine, Farah, she has a daughter, and she told me, she was like, Rytasha, everything is conditional in this world. And I was like, no, yeah, it's not at all. She was like, it is, yeah, trust me. Even like my own child, it's conditional love in the beginning. And I was like, shit, man. Kind of makes sense.
But see, you thought of it this way, and your explanation makes perfect sense to me right now. But what I was talking about earlier in terms of like as you grew up, I think what I meant was more that when you were younger, in terms of not child, but maybe adolescence, early 20s, that whole bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kind of, again, the media perception or idea of love, and you were kind of like, no, I'm going to love someone and they're going to love me back, and nothing else is going to matter. It's not about your class or religion or gender or what, nothing else will matter. It'll just be pure, unadulterated love. But I think as you grow up, you realize that life at large has a lot of things. There's a lot of boxes that you have to tick for yourself to have a good life, right? Or to have the quote unquote good life.
Yeah.
So I think when I say conditional, I mean like, do I want to be with someone who doesn't share my idea of a future, or who doesn't see the same value system, or maybe who doesn't have the same goals or aspirations? Like suddenly these things start to enter your dialogue, I think, when you're talking about relationships or partnerships. It's like, when you look at it long term, why is it that, sometimes a relationship starts out great and you think that you're falling in love and you think that everything's fine and you really enjoy every aspect of a person. But then the deeper you get into it and the more you try to make it meaningful and last longer is when you realize all these differences. And let's be honest, those differences are those conditions that you are not willing to do or do. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by sometimes there are conditions to love.
I fully am with you with what you're saying, but I don't think it's so much as conditions. It's more like that idyllic idea you had of love, whatever younger like kids and teenagers and stuff think about what love is.
Maybe
reality
just
finally kicks
challenges
in, and then
to it. Yeah,
and like it's then about being practical in life as opposed
so I think
to
I'm
simply
equating
being dreamy.
So I think I'm equating practicality to conditions.
Yeah, kind of. Because honestly, Ayushi, from speaking from personal experience, I have broken a few of these barriers of things that I never thought I would date someone like XYZ.
I know.
And for me, like one of the major ones was, oh, I have to like be with someone who is hilarious and speaks great English just like me and all of that. Cut to, I have been with beautiful man who's a native Hindi speaker for the last few years, and it's different. And I never thought that this would be something that would be part of my life, but it is. And that's why I feel like love isn't conditional. But yeah, sometimes in the practicality also has to come in, and then I'm like,
I
okay,
think perhaps
for everyone,
No,
I don't
you're
know.
right. I'm thinking. I swear, I'm thinking as you're
Even I
saying
don't
this. Like
know.
definitely.
Yeah.
But I think the better way of putting it would be that I was talking about the practicalities of life, and
Of
that being a
adulthood.
condition.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm saying that. So there are definitely like, okay, perfect example I would give you and listeners is that if I look back on some of the happier, say, relationships I've had in my life,
Yeah.
and I think how come maybe one or two then didn't work out is because there was it wasn't about like not loving each other or not liking each other. It was more about there were practical roadblocks that either the partner or
Yeah,
myself, we weren't able
exactly.
to overcome or compromise
Correct.
or to get over.
Situational.
And so I
Yeah.
suppose in my mind, I put that as a conditional. I put that as a condition being like, okay, then in the future, I obviously am not able to overcome that condition. So I know that
Yeah.
in a future relationship, if this comes up, it's going to be a conditional thing of a yes or a no.
Makes
I think
sense.
that's
Yeah.
kind of where I was thinking. But you know what? Look, my idea of this can evolve, and I'm sure that I don't know, like in the future things can change. But I do
I had
think
another
as you grow up, maybe love starts to be a little more complicated than just like
It
I love you, you love
does.
me.
Because even now that I'm thinking of like Ayushi family relationships, how older kids are with their older parents, how that bond and that love also changes. Love between siblings, how that also evolves. How many times you hear about
Yeah,
siblings who don't get along, or about this estranged uncle and that estranged aunt, and oh, they have
exactly.
like,
Like I didn't want
so
to say
what
it, but
is that?
money is a condition.
Sadly,
Yeah.
yeah,
And you know, when we talk about love, like you just said, it's not only just about say like a romantic love, but you're
yeah.
right, siblings. There's so many siblings we know that are estranged. Not that we know, that I'm saying that you know of, like that. Oh, they don't get along.
Everyone has heard
You
of
know,
those. Yeah, it happens in everyone's family also. Yeah, let's
yeah,
not
children and
lie.
parents, in-laws, this, that, the other. That love that you thought was unconditional, as
It
you grew
becomes
up and
conditional.
things came
Yeah,
in the way, there were conditions.
I agree with you. It
And
makes sense.
I think it's important to take that blinder off though, and just be like, look, the world is unfortunately or fortunately a more layered and nuanced place than black and white. So you have to learn that these challenges will come,
Yeah.
and love is not just all. Anyway, मैं
Rainbows
क्या
and
करूँ यार?
butterflies, it's compromise that moves us along.
Which
Wait.
okay, somebody else said love is stability, where you finally feel stable amongst the other mixed bag of emotions. Like her thing was basically like everything else can be a mess,
Yeah,
but sometimes love is what is the most stabilizing emotion of them all.
I agree. It's a sense of security, and that's what it is. Stability,
Yeah,
security. Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Then this is from one of our friends. Love is, and he was like, I don't really know how to say this, but love is feeling happy when you're with someone, whether it's now or whether I see them 10 years later. When I feel the same thing, I know that it was love.
Sweet.
And I thought that was very sweet.
Because putting love in the
And
future.
yeah, I think sometimes we forget that it has to last also, no? Doesn't
I
have
don't
to.
agree with that. I'm of the totally opposite school of thought where I'm like,
Correct. No,
even
no.
with
Same. When
short-lived,
I say no,
yeah.
sorry. I think it's because I know this person that I'm putting this idea of their love lasting
Hmm.
because I want their love to last.
Fair.
But yeah, we'll come back to what you were talking about. We will.
Okay.
Okay. Another one. Love is seeing someone else happy because that becomes your happy.
Yes, can't complain about that. It's true, man. You learn it every day.
When your
The people you
partner is
love.
happy, you are happy.
Dude, when your best friend has a small win of the day, oh my god, this pimple has subsided today. Oh, I got my period. I feel happy for you.
Correct.
आप
Very correct.
खुशी में मेरी खुशी है. When there's love,
Okay.
yeah.
Then love is trust and maturity,
Dude,
which
can't
is
say more.
true.
Trust and communication, I would say. Maturity comes and goes. But who am I? I'm not the love guru. Give a look at me giving my reviews after each. Okay, chill out,
But that was
Anupama
the session.
Chopra.
No, but this segment was that, right? Like me telling you and then you giving us. Okay. I liked this one. Love is knowing it can end anytime, but you still want to be there as wholly and as completely and as long as you can.
My motto. This is my motto.
That's why I said
You-
hold off on that thought because this was
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, man. You
And I think
go.
this one is important because sometimes you don't have to have like that great big, like the only love in your life is not just that great big one. You can have many.
I agree. Yeah.
And I think I like this one also because this one kind of, I don't know, maybe struck a chord inside me. Maybe like there's something in my own past that maybe I touched upon. I don't really know. But in all honesty, reading that, sometimes I think we've all been in a relationship or we've been in that situation where you have this feeling that it might end. But maybe because you are enjoying it so much right now, you kind of want to hold on to every last morsel, even though you know that perhaps the other shoe is about to drop. And I don't think this is only to do
that's
with love.
the
I think it's just about him.
quality of love. I think that's when the
Oh,
unconditional
ew.
part plays in.
Oh, okay.
Because I think,
That's a different way of looking at it. A different way of looking at the word unconditional.
yeah, when you don't want to give
Like
up,
even though you know, yeah, when you don't want to give up.
you
Love
gotta
is
fight.
hope.
Yeah, love is.
We have that. That was the next one. Love is hope. Returning to the same thing, perhaps because you have some hope or some faith.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry now. This is like better than a
Or
rom-com,
do you think
Ayushi.
that's, oh dear. Um, okay, love is someone you can grow with, which is a good one because I think love should bring out the best in you, right? And so, in terms of looking at it from whether it's a friendship, whether it's a family relationship, whether it's a partnership, I think if it's real love and it's rooted in something safe and good and strong, it will bring out the best in you or the other person, and because it should be about being that, having that growth, right?
Wholeheartedly agree with you, but also on that note, it might also growth will demand the worst of you to come forward also, and for you to deal with that.
Yeah,
So
but that's fine.
the best and worst. So yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure like that's the whole process of getting to your best is to go through that worst part,
Yes,
right?
yes, for sure, for sure.
And what better place to do that than in the sanctuary of like love, in that safe sanctum of love? Like if you're surrounded by love, then this is the place for you to grow.
Agreed. Wow, love it.
Okay, then love means healing. Love
It
is
really does.
warmth.
Yes,
Love is your safe place. These are all a lot of we got a lot of those, which I agree with. I really like. Okay, and the last two was one was we talked about this earlier, but this is love is choosing. Love is choosing yourself, your partner, your decisions. Every single
every
day, love is a
damn
choice.
day. Yeah, man. Every damn day. Loving
I
yourself
think
is a
that's a good
choice
one.
every day also.
Yeah, and we talked about this in choice.
Yeah.
Like that's your responsibility, and it's your decision to make.
Yeah.
So you have to show up, right? Like that's what it is about, showing up,
Yeah. For yourself
making that
and
choice.
for everyone else that you love.
And then the last one, which I liked, which two people sort of wrote similar things, was, and they kind of wrote, they said that they don't know what love is. And they said that, seeing through like media and books and TV and everything, the idea of love, they've never experienced that, or they've never been able to find it, and they're not sure whether that's what they should be looking for. But it ended with, but that to us is love, and maybe one day we'll get it. And then the one of them ended with, but actually what I love is your podcast. And I was like, you are best.
Love it. Love
You
it.
truly know what love is. But I liked this one because I think
I don't think
this whole
anyone knows what
episode,
love is, even after
yeah,
researching
yeah,
and talking about it and feeling it. It's hard to articulate or understand it fully.
because this is that first thing, right? It doesn't show up on the X-ray. It's just there.
It's just there. How you explain, how do you feel, how do you tell? Yeah. It's
I don't know. Like I haven't been in love. I haven't been in love in so long, Tash. I don't know.
but you love a lot of
And I
people.
mean, yeah, of course. The people that I love in my life, I love them fiercely,
Exactly.
and there's a lot of people that I can very, very firmly say I would do anything for. And I'm very proud to have it. I'm very, like, I feel blessed to be able to say that I would, for like these few people in my life, I'd do anything. I'd give anything for them. Like, no questions asked.
That's
Because I
bold.
know that,
I would be afraid to make such a blanket statement. Ayushi, you don't even know who's going to ask you for what.
no, I think in my mind, like, they're like, see, to me, the only love that I consistently know right now is the love of, say, my family, right?
Yes, and
And
me.
I don't mean to make it sound like a sad little duck, like I only have my family. But to me, that love is
The
so,
purest, yeah.
like, it's so blind because I don't entertain the thought of not loving.
Yeah, same.
So that's the only love I know, and I feel very blessed to have it. But if you ask me in this larger sense of, in a romantic sense, like what is love? I don't know, man. I've not
Baby,
been in
don't
love in a
hurt
while.
me. Don't hurt
That also I
me.
got.
No
That
more.
also I got. Someone sent that also. What is love?
Just don't
Baby, don't
hurt
hurt
me.
me.
Which is fair, don't hurt each other. That's fair.
Okay.
Ayushi,
Shall I ask you one question now?
why don't I ask you one question, Ayushi? What is love to you?
You know, you just conveniently
Because you were
beat me
kind of
to
talking
it.
about it anyway, because you're talking about the family love and you were already on that tangent. So I just.
But I feel like I've said this on other shows before, like on other episodes where I've said that, oh, the love that I know is my family's love. And I realized I was like, wow, me so sad. But not sad. I just mean it more like I haven't been in romantic love in a really long time. I don't remember what it's like. And that's honest. That's as honest as I can be. I don't know what I expect from a partner. I don't know what I would, how much I would take in terms of like, how much are you willing to take? I don't know what I would stand up for or like not let someone have, or I don't know. I I'm struggling with it in terms of, I'm not sure whether I need to work on myself more before I open up to it, or maybe um, I'm really closed off to it because I don't know what it is. Like, you know what I mean? I'm confused a little bit, but I do know one thing. If you were to ask me what is love to me,
Yeah.
the only thing that I jotted down, because I said that is something I wanted to touch upon anyway. So off the top of my head, I would say that love isn't just that one great big love story.
Yeah.
There's many small loves, little short stories that you get, and each one of them, no matter their length or their depth, they can contain love. And so what I'm trying to say, I think, is that I think we get many loves. And to end it on a very positive note, I look forward to my next one.
That's so fuzzy. I'm going to cry.
Oh dear Lord.
No, I'm not.
How is it that I am looking forward to my next love, but you are crying?
Because I will always be your first love and you will always be my first love.
See, but yeah, so that's my thing.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
That's lovely. I
What is love to you?
can't wait for that. My love situation is, I was actually thinking about it and I honestly can't really pinpoint because, of course, it's everything everyone has said about acceptance and comfort and unconditional support, mental, physical, emotional, whatever support you need,
Right, yeah.
I thought of this right now actually when we were talking about love also as an action. And I would like to say that for me, love is the reason I do everything that I do every day. Yeah.
Little dark.
Also, because of that other old thing, which I was like, oh, everything you do boils down to fear or love. So either you're doing things out of fear or you're doing them out of love. I like to choose love. Yeah.
I thought the saying was do all things with love.
Yeah. That's the for sure. But there's some other school of emotions which has said that every feeling or every emotion will distill down, and the only two emotions left are love and fear. So everything comes from there.
Oh,
Based on that, I like to operate from love. Yes.
okay.
Yes.
I like that. That's nice.
Thanks. I'm glad to have your approval on this subject.
Lol. I was trying to find this quote that I had written somewhere, which was about love.
So you were not listening
But I
to me.
can't
Basically,
find
you were
it.
looking for a quote while I was giving you my deepest, darkest love secrets. Ayushi, anyway.
No!
Remember that there used to be one lover.
No, I heard you.
You heard me, okay. But remember in school, there was always an inspirational reading about love. Love is the first letter of the alphabet. Oh no, but that was about God. Sorry, it wasn't about love.
This one, I think. So I found, even I thought about but I thought about the one that was like, love is kind, love is patient.
That's
love
the
knows
one I was
no.
talking about, Ayushi. I
That
got
one.
confused with A is the first letter of the alphabet. I'm drunk. Don't mind me.
So is God. No, but the one the quote that I liked, which, I mean, it's not like the best one ever about love. I'm sure there are others, but I like this one. It says, what is love? After all, it's quite simple. Love is everything which enhances, widens, and enriches our life.
Yeah.
In its heights and in its depths. Love has as few problems as a motor car. The only problems are the driver, the passengers, and the road.
That's epic.
I liked it because it's funny because everything is a problem.
Yeah.
But
that's great.
It's everything which enriches your life, right? I think love makes every interaction better. It makes every relationship better. It makes every partnership, every endeavor, every triumph, every failure. You take anything in life, if you add like sincere love to it, it's 10x.
10x.
So,
I love it.
On that note, I think I would just like to say to everyone, while it might not seem sustainable or feasible or possible, try to do at least one thing with love tomorrow, or try to be with someone with love.
100%. Create a love.
And that's it.
Love-filled environment. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Yes, this was, thank you for writing in. Thank you for trusting us and giving us your inputs and sharing what you felt love was to you. That's very, I really appreciate, I appreciate that. The trust.
Yes.
That was great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And if you like this podcast, of course, you know what to do. And if you like us, you also know what to do. Find us on social media and follow us.
I thought we could end this one with just like, one of those like really dramatic fade out lines and just like end it and be like, oh wow. So that when the listener finishes it, like that was the end, they feel so different about it. But I guess it has to end with, wow, Dad, are you serious?
Ayushi, I think it's time we pack up this episode.
I have to go.
Bye, friends. Now. Thank you. See you all next week.
Bye.
बेटा, did you know 79% of all scientists in NASA are Indian only?
देखो, इंडिया में टैक्स सिर्फ मिडिल क्लास भरती है. Everyone is just enjoying free यार.
आजकल के youngsters are only interested in partying and enjoying. उनको देश की पड़ी ही नहीं है.
बेटा, तुम बस शादी कर लो, उसके बाद तो you can enjoy life like anything.
I will tell you what this country needs. This country needs 15 years of dictatorship. That is the only way to become a superpower. See the Chinese, how much they've progressed.
सुनो, तुमने ये WhatsApp forward देखा?
So what's common between all of these statements?
They're all absolutely rubbish.
Fake WhatsApp forwards that spread like wildfire.
And statements that defy any logic.
They are here to debunk them all.
Way of family WhatsApp groups, worst nightmare. Where what happens when you read a book.
Basically, we're just a bunch of guys who want to cut through the bullshit of everyone saying this, how it won't be true.
So that the next time someone confidently squeezes out some WhatsApp or Twitter BS, you can look them dead in the eye and go, Uncle, please sit.
So join me, Joel.
And me, Tushar.
Every Mondays for a fresh new episode of Uncle, Please Sit.
Are you constantly seeking happiness? Wondering how to make the most of every day? How not to let your inhibitions stop you from achieving your goals? It's now time to get your A game on. It's time to unlock your true potential. Tune in to the Empowering series with me, Zarina Poonawalla, to feel empowered in all genres of life, from behavioral skills to management skills, from health to relationships, from mental well-being to emotional well-being, and of course your finances. I've got you covered. With these tips and tricks from me, Zarina, and true life stories from my amazing guests, you're bound to bring your purest to the table. Tune in to the Empowering series with Zarina Poonawalla every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you listen to podcasts.